Imagine yourself sitting at your computer. You've got homework to do. You're kind of just browsing around, surfing the web. But you know you've got a speech due tomorrow. So, you know, obviously, why do that speech when you can go ahead and just surf the web and kind of put it off until tomorrow, where your speech is due tomorrow? So, an interesting quote that I decided to talk on was, never do today what you can put off until tomorrow. So, we're going to look at 3 things that I found that putting off until tomorrow I thought were pretty key here. First is the homework, like I said. Secondly, we're going to look at housework or chores. And then thirdly, we'll look at taxes. So let's move into the first. The first one was homework. Like I stated before, we all dislike homework. It's necessary, but you know what? I can find a lot better things to do than to do my homework, such as looking up the baseball score and seeing that we lost by 1 run with a lead going into the 7th inning. Okay? Homework, we don't like homework. So there's a lot of different things that you all like that you're going to find to be able to put off until, you know, until tomorrow. So you'll find those things today, and they'll influence what you're going to do tomorrow. So let's look at our chores. None of us like chores as a kid, unless you're a little oddball there. But none of us like that. So as a child, what did you do? Well, I had a lot more things to do. I could find something like getting out my G.I. Joes or my you know, my cars and race my cars. You know, I always found something that I could put off. I always found something I could do to put off having to do my chores. And I think we even do that today as adults, is we're going to find something. Let's go back to that computer, because we all know the computer pretty much rules our lives right now. So we're going to find things that are going to help us put off these important things, such as our chores and our housework and things like that. So let's look at taxes. Let's jump to taxes. Taxes is something we all hate. We all have to. Look, there's 2 things in life that are for sure, death and taxes. And you're going to find a way to put both of those off. So nobody likes to do taxes, but I don't understand why, because most of us right now at this point in time are going to end up getting some money back. So I don't know why we put that off. Maybe it's just the hassle of having to go through the process and deal with all that. But you're going to find something to do. Maybe go get a tooth pulled. I don't know why, but you know, I'm going to do that before I go get my taxes done. So go ahead and preview the things that we talked about. First, we talked about the homework. None of us likes the homework. We're all going to find something to do before that. We looked at our chores and our housework. None of us like to do that. And quite honestly, like I said, the taxes are something that none of us are going to enjoy doing. So in conclusion today, I think we can all find something a lot better to do than just jump on the computer, maybe go out, ride your bicycle, get some exercise, feel a little bit better about yourself, or why don't you go ahead and prepare for the things that you need to do first, so that way you won't be putting them off. Thank you.
All right, Bobby, the visualization at the beginning is fine, and the tie into the quote works out well. We know what the quote is. Your point of view needs to be a little bit sharper. It seemed to me like I knew what the topic area was, but not exactly what your thesis was, and I thought that seemed strange given the fact that everything else was relatively clear. And you have a very good preview at the beginning of the speech, so we know what the structure is going to be. You follow that structure during the speech, so that keeps you focused. You got good examples on each of those points. Sometimes you're trying to remember the next thing that you're talking about, but you usually got there pretty smoothly. I didn't see that there was any obvious hesitation. Like I said, the organization was easy to follow. Your voice, I think you start off low key. Most of the time you spend at pretty much the same volume. I did notice sometimes that you have a tendency to drop your voice when you're making the transitions, and I'm not sure that it's a deliberate choice that you're making. It seems like it's just a tip-off. Oh, I'm done with that, and I'm going to move on to the next thing, as opposed to, I want people to notice, so now let's go to 2. It sounds like it's trailing off a little bit. See if you can pick that up when you're watching. You may not get the same impression, but that was the impression that I got. Pacing is okay. Your gestures, you got some good indicators. Your facial expression, this is, I think, one of the things that works really well. You're very vivid with the expressions. You convey those emotions that you're trying to talk about at the same time. Your frustration with your team losing a one-run lead as you're going into the 7th inning, and you can see that kind of expression on your face, and so I think that matches up really well there. So you're doing a good job there. The only thing that I thought that might indicate some anxiety or nervousness is the body movement. You shift your weight back and forth quite a bit, and it's probably natural to do it, a little bit. But I noticed, it's 3.5 minutes that you're speaking, and it seemed like it was a lot for 3.5 minutes. So it probably wouldn't be that noticeable if you were given a longer speech and you were, paused and in a position for a longer period of time. But because it's shorter, it does seem a little awkward while you're watching it. But that's the only thing that seemed at all noticeable about that. All right. Thank you.